Coming in hot. Coming in hot.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. Now you have been asked to draw the detailed drawing of the control handle assembly. Right, we are come to start. So you start by drawing the body, then you draw the handle, then the collar, the pin and the pivot start. So let's start with the body. So I'll first start by drawing a horizontal line. It's too faint. Then I'll measure the distance of 50, but then it's shared across both sides, so 2.5 on both sides, so that's 50. Then I'll draw vertical line, then another vertical line, right. Next we have these two circles here, which has a distance from here to here to be 42, so I'll measure 42. Alright, so that's 42. So I'll just draw a horizontal line again, then I'll draw the circles inside. The first one has a diameter of 8, so meaning a radius of 4. So I'm going to measure 4. That will be very small. So that's 4. Let me measure it. Yes, that's 4. The next one has a diameter of 22, so meaning a radius of 11. I'm going to measure 11. Right, so that's 11. Then I'll draw. Next, we have this part here. And then we know the distance, you have to locate them. The distance between them is 64. So let's measure 64. That's 32 on both sides. So 32 on both sides. So that's 1, and that's 64. That's that one. So 32 from both sides. Then we draw vertical lines. Remember, at this stage, all lines are continuous thin. It's only the final outline that's supposed to be continuous thick. Next, I've been given this radius of 50. So you're going to measure that one too. So I'll stand here, inscribe an arc. The way, let me draw a vertical line here too. So I'll stand here and inscribe an arc. Where it intersects, mind you, is a full semicircle sort of, but then it's a center line. So let's draw that one. So it goes a distance, then a smaller distance, then it goes, then a smaller distance, then it goes. Alright, so now we have our intersection for these 2 points, and these 2 points are points here and this point. Next, I come to draw this one having a radius of 10. I'm going to measure 10. Then I'll stand. Let me see. That's 10. Then I'll stand at the midpoint and draw an arc. The same thing I'll do at the other side. Now we know, since this is 50, this is also going to be 50 plus 10, that will be 60. Or you can just stand there, open to this, and just continue. You can stand there, open to this. And just continue with it. Next, this one, you have to also draw this one. But I know this is 50, so this will be 40. So you can measure 40, or you can just open to this and continue. I'll just open to this and just draw. Okay, right. Now it's left to the inner one. The inner one has a radius of 5. So you are going to open to 5. 5 is quite small. So that's 5. Then I'll stand at the same place and draw. Same thing to here. Same place and draw. Next, I'll stand here, open to this, and finish it. Then same thing to here. Alright, next. Now if you don't open and you want to measure, it's just 50 minus 5 for this one, then 50 plus 5 for this one. Alright, so we are almost done. Now it's left with these two parts. Realize this has a radius of 50, which is touching externally with this one, which has a radius of 10. So if they are touching externally, you add their radii. So 10 plus 50 will give us 60. So you open to 60. Open to 60. Open to 60. Then we stand here and inscribe an arc. Same thing to here. Inscribe an arc. Now, this same circle touches externally with this straight edge. So meaning you have to stand here, open to 50, and inscribe an arc. So let's measure 50. So I'm going to stand here and inscribe an arc. Then also stand here and inscribe an arc. Now where the two axes intersect, I'll now stand there and open to 50, which I've already opened, and draw. Same thing to here. Where the two axes intersect, I'll open there and draw. Come beyond it. Right. So now we have finished with this side. It's left with this part. Now this has a distance of 10 millimeters. So I'm going to measure 10 millimeters and draw. So this is my 10 millimeters. I'm going to draw it. I'm going to draw a line. Next, I've been given that the distance from this point to this point is 16. So from the center line, let me just take in the center line a bit. The distance from this point to this point is 16. So let's measure 16. So that's 16 here, then 32 here. So now we have a center point for these ones. Now these have a diameter of 8, so meaning 4 here, 4 here. So measure 4 on both sides too. So 1, 2. 1, 2. Next, I'm going to draw our center lines and the rest. So this is our center line. The next one is the short dashes. Next is this web that's here, having a distance of 6 millimeters. So meaning 3 from each side. So let's measure 3 from each side. So that's 3, that's 3. Then it's short dashes. Alright, so what's left again? I think that's all. So I'll just dip in the part for it to come out well. Alright, so I'm moving on. So what I just did was just taking out the lines. Now the next part I'm going to draw is the section YY. So all the lines you projected here, that's what you use to draw this section. Alright, so let's begin. So we know this has a distance of 25. We don't need this again, so we can clean this. Alright, so I'm going to measure 25. So that's my 0. That's 25. And I'll draw. Oh shit, this is better. And I'll draw vertical lines through. I mind you that the vertical line for this one ends just here, but this one goes all the way through. So you draw this one up to just this point for this. Then for this one, you draw it through. Right. Next, you project all these surfaces to this side. So we stand here draw a line, stand here. Mind you, all these lines are supposed to be continuous then, because they are projection lines. Next, you project these ones too. Project this one too. This one too. This one too. And that's it. So let's continue. Now I'm giving that the distance from here to this point is 16. So you measure that 16. That's the 16 over here. We know that the fillet radar is 3. So meaning the distance from here to this point is also 3. So you measure distance from this side to this side is 3. Then we draw a vertical line. So let's measure that distance. So that's 3 over here. Then we draw a vertical line. I think it's too faint. Right. Alright, so next we have this 3 millimeters gap here. So let's measure the 3 millimeters here, then draw a vertical line. So 3. So that's 3. Now draw a vertical line. Actually, let's move on. Alright, so let's see where we continue to. We have drawn this. We have drawn this. Now this has a fillet radius of 3 millimeters, but we can't measure 3 millimeters with a compass. So we just measure and just use a free hand to join the part. So let's see. 1, 2, 3. So this part is this part that you can't use the compass to get it to. You just have to join with your free hand and make it smooth as possible. Something like that. Right. Then next you have to draw this. But mind you, this part ends here. So this part, let's take in this one too. Then there's this fillet here too, and there's one also here. But before we draw that one, there's a fillet here that we didn't draw, so we draw that one very soon. Now this has a fillet of 3 millimeters, and this corresponds, if you have to draw a line through, this part corresponds with this. So now this will now correspond with this 3 millimeters. So now we have this line, which is, sorry, I think it's better. So now we have this line, which is here, which will now correspond with this one here. But then mind you, have a thickness of 6 millimeters for this one. So if you know, so if you measure from here to here, we can measure out 6 millimeters and get out this one. So if you measure out 6 millimeters, let's see. Measure 6 millimeters. Then let's draw a vertical line through. Right, so right now we know we have this part up to this point, which is, let's confirm something. You know this part corresponds with this part also corresponds with this corresponds with this one too, then this finally okay, this as in okay, then this one too corresponds to with this. So we have these lines here. So now we have drawn, so comparing what we have here is visible. We have drawn this, which is this. So you need to measure out 3 millimeters here, 3 millimeters here, and join them with our free hand. So let's quickly do that. So 3 millimeters. That's 3. Then another 3 millimeters. That's another 3 millimeters. So we join it with our free hand. Since the compass is too small to get us that we die. So we have this part. Next you have to draw this part too, which is 3 millimeters. So you measure out 3 millimeters on both sides. So that's 3. And that's 3. Then we join them. Right, so we are done with this part. What is left is this one, which goes all the way through. We already have it, so let's deepen that one too. So let me just deepen it so it wouldn't confuse us. So this one has to be deep. This one has to be deep. This one too has to be deep. And this line too has to be deep. And this line too has to be deep. Alright, so now we have this line. Let me deepen this one too. We have this one. So what is left is this one. So I measure 3 millimeters too from this side. That's 3 millimeters. Then I'll join. Mind you, you have already measured 3 millimeters here. So I'll just join it. So now we have this side too. So it's going up to this point, this line. Right. So I'll draw a line. Then I'll draw. But mind you, at this point it's going up the fillet 3 millimeters. So you need to measure 3 millimeters too at this point. That's 3 millimeters. Then you join with your free hand. Next, there's another fillet here having 3 millimeters. The fillets are quite a lot. So this 3. This is also 3. So you just join them. So let's deepen this one. Then this goes up to, let's see where it ends at. So then this one corresponds with this corresponds with the center line, this corresponds with this outer line, then finally this corresponds to the top part. Right, so now coming to what you have done so far, we are at this point, so then it's going up, and then this one also corresponds to the edge of this. So let's draw a thin line to get this line to fall. So from this point to, you have that line too. So now where are we? We have dealt with this part, we are now here. So now it's going up to this point, so it's going up to this point. Then from this point it's going here a distance of 16. So let's measure 16. So that's 16, and it's coming down up to this point. And let's see, let's put this aside for now. So now you have this one, which is here. Next you have the next one, then the center line. I'll come to that shortly. And you have this one too. Then next you have this one, but then mind you, it has the fillet radius also here. So measure 3 from both sides. That's 3 here, and that's 3 there. So we just join them. No, I think we should have measured at this side rather. Oh so measure 3 here. So this 3 will now, let me dip in this one. This 3 will now merge with this. Right, then it comes down. Then it goes this way too. Now what's left? Left is this one. That's going to come down a distance of 3. So you measure 3 millimeters to same thing. There. Then you join it with this. Then you use your ruler to join them. Now let's come to the center one. There's this line here, corresponding to this. So we just draw them to then the center line 2 comes in. And the center line 2 so comes in from this part. Then let's dip in this one too. So far I think we have all the parts now. Now the 3 meme test one we didn't do for the previous one, let's work on it now. So we just measure 3. That's 3 also here. Then just join. So now what is left is the sectioning, which you can do. So I'm going to pause it and do the sectioning now. Alright, so this is the sectioning you are going to get after sectioning it. Now we are moving on. Next part we are coming to draw is the handle. So let's start. Now, starting with this one, same 2 parts. So we shift this one a bit here. We have this. Alright. Now let's start. We have this distance to be 32, then 3, then 64. So 32 plus 3 will give us 35, plus 64 that will give us 95. Right. Then 95 plus 25 that will give us 120. So the whole height is 120. So let's draw the vertical line. Before I do that, I'll demarcate this part. I'll demarcate this part. Then the one to here. Alright, so I've demarcated that part. Alright, so let's move on. So let's start by drawing a vertical line. So that's a vertical line. So you measure 32. We start. So let's see, here's my tip. First going to measure 32. That's my 32. Next I'll measure 3. And that's my 3. Next I'll measure 64. 64 is here. Then I'll measure 25. 25 is also here. Right, I'm going to draw horizontal lines through all the points I measured. So this one I think it's too faint. Better. Then this one too. This. So we have those points now. Now, let's start. Let's extend these lines a bit. So that the vertical line we drew become a center point or a midline. Alright, so let's start. Now this has a diameter of 16. So I'm going to measure 8 from both sides. 8. Then it comes down to this point, to the diameter of 12, so meaning 6 6. So same here, measure 6 on both sides, so 6 here, 6 here, and 6 here also. Next, I've been given that this small gap has a diameter of 9, so meaning distance from here to here is 9. So let's measure that 9 too. So that will be 4.5, 4.5. So somewhere around here and there. Next, we draw vertical lines for the 6. Then for the 9, right, so we see this side goes in a distance before. Now the fillet radar is 3, so if this is just half of it, meaning the distance from here to here is 1.5, right? So you measure 1.5 from where we measured the 6, sorry, the 4.5, this one. So 1.5, that'll be quite tiny. So 1.5, then 1.5. Alright, so this line will come to this point. Same thing for this. Then this will now come to this. I think it's a bit. So then it's this way, then this, then these two. Alright, so let's move on. Next, given that the distance from this point to this midline to be 50, so distance from here to here, we're going to measure 50. So that's my 50. Now this bigger circle has a diameter of 12, so meaning it has a radius of 6. I'm going to open 6. Let's open 6 and draw. So that's our 6. And the inner one has a diameter of 8. Wow, 4. Let's open 4. 4 will be quite difficult. That's 4. But let's see. Are you sure it's full? That's fine. Need to draw 4. Uh, uh, you have managed to get our 4. Right. Next, this one comes down to a diameter of 20, meaning a radius of 10. So let's open 10 and draw on this part. Oh, it's broken lines. Let me clean it and draw it again. It's supposed to be a broken line. Right. So now this line comes from here. Let's see. From here to this part. This one also comes from here to this part. So you have these 2 lines here. What is left is this one, having a radius of 3. That will be quite difficult, so let's see how we go about it. I'm going to measure 3 from here, then another 3 from here, then another 3 from here. I'm going to join them with the curve. I hope it's... Then this one joins it from here. Same thing to here. Yeah, I think it actually worked. Right. So what is next? What's left is this square here. It is 10 by 10. So 5, you measure 5 on both sides. So 5. Alright, sorry, the video went off. Now we are measuring this square here. So you have measured the vertical side, it's left the horizontal side. So 5 on both. So you draw this line. Then we have our square. Let me deepen it out a bit. Now what is left? Oh, this thing should look. It's better. Alright, so what is left now is this arc over here, which has a radius of 10. We are going to measure 10 millimeters. That's 10 millimeters. I'm going to stand here and inscribe an arc. Same thing, stand here and inscribe an arc. And where they intersect, you now stand there and draw the 10. So let me deepen it out for the outline to come out a bit clearer. This part there. Alright, so I'm moving on. Now I come to draw this same part. So you're just going to extend the lines you had here to get the other part. So let's do that quick. But mind you, they are all 10 continuous lines. 10 continuous lines. So just extend, 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 extend. Now this is a center line. Extend this one too. I think we are good to go. Alright, so let's start. So as usual, we should start by drawing the vertical line. That's going to act as our midpoint. So vertical line. Alright, so that's my vertical line. So now let's see. It's basically the same dimensions I'm going to use for this part too. So for this part is 12, 9, 12, 9. So measure 6 from each side. 6 from each side. So 6. Same thing. Then the 9, 4.5. 4.5. Here. And here. Right, so let's just join them. Join this one too. Now this still has a radius of a diameter of 16, so radius of 8. So this 8. So tick, tick. Then this one comes here. And this one too comes here. Then this line. Alright. Now this has a thickness of 5. So meaning you're going to measure 2.5 from each side, because this line is the center line. So let's measure 2.5. So this 2.5. Then we draw a vertical line. Then you draw another vertical line. Now this part, which is this part, the total distance is 11. Sorry, the total distance is 11, meaning the distance from this part to here is 6. Right. So let's measure 6. That's 6. Then we draw a vertical line. Then this part too has a distance of 6. So we didn't extend this one. Let's extend this one too. We're going to measure 6 2 from this side. So that's 6. Then we draw a vertical line there also. Alright, so we have our outline now. So what we just have to do is just thicken the parts. So now let's start. So this part needs to be thickened. Then here's a vertical line. Here's also a vertical line. And this part too. Then this line. Then this line. Then we have this. Then this line too. And this. And this. And this. Next you have to draw the short dashes for this part. So short dashes for this part and this part. So let's do that one. Then a center line for this one. Same thing here, center line. Then this short dashes that run through. And a short dashes that run through. So then what is left is this part. Let's thicken this one to then this. Then this one. Now what's left is this part 10. So as we did with the previous one, we're going to measure 10. Okay, we already have a 10. We stand here. Oh. Inscribe a neck. Stand here. Inscribe a neck. Where they intersect, we now stand there and draw. So that's it for the handle. So now we are moving on. Right, so now we are moving on to the next item, which is the pivot stud. So let's start drawing. This one can fit in here. Let me shift this a bit. This one can just fit in here nicely. So let's see. How do I position this? Okay, so is this distance, oh sorry, so is this distance of 44 from this point up to this point. Then this has a distance of 6 and this has a radius of 3. So you can first draw the rectangle, then you measure and get a 3. This one is relatively simple. Now this has a dimension of 10, so meaning it's a square, so 10 by 10. Then this, from the distance from here to this hole, is also 30. So let's draw that one quickly. So I'm going to bring this up here a bit. Yes. Alright, so I'll draw my horizontal line, then a vertical line. Next, I'll measure 8 and 44. So I'll measure 8. That's my 8. Then I'll measure distance of 44. 44 is around here. But then we also know this having a distance of 11. I'm going to measure 11 2 again from this side. So that's 11. Next, I'm going to draw 2 vertical lines through the 11 and through the 44. So this for the 11. This for the 11. This for the 44. Now for the 44, this side. Distance is 8. Distance is 10. Sorry. But we know here to be 8. So we just need to measure 1 millimeter away. Then we have that one. So we just add 1 millimeter to this side, 1 millimeter to this side. Then we have that side. Alright, so I'm moving on. This has a diameter of 16 from here. So meaning the distance from here to here is 16. But we already have 8. So you can measure another 8 in addition, another 8 in addition. So let's see. Or we can also choose to get the midpoint of the 8, that is 4. Once you get that midpoint, we can draw another horizontal line through. Then from that we can measure out 16. That will be quite simpler. So we have 8 from both sides. So 8 with a distance of 6. So we draw horizontal line, another horizontal line. We need to measure out 6. So 6 is here. I'm going to draw the 6. Alright, so we have our shape now. But then we have been given that the radius at this point is 3. So you measure 3 from both sides. Or you mark it out. So 3 is somewhere here. Also somewhere there. 3 is here. And 3 is also there. So we just join it with our free hand. But make it as even as possible. As even as possible. Alright, so this is what we have. So I'm going to deepen it out. Then you have this part too. Then you have this. Then I'll just deepen this one. You have this cross inside it, so just draw it. Alright, so you are done drawing this part. Now you have to draw the center line and locate this hole 2 millimeters diameter, but then it's 30 millimeters away, so 30 millimeters away, that's somewhere around here. So we just draw it, then the center line comes. So we have that's it for the pivot start. Now I left with the plan. Now this has a radius, has a diameter of 16, so radius of 8. This is the center line, so you can just stand here, open to this line and just draw. The next one is the square that is inside. So I'll just extend these projection lines for the square. I'll just extend it and extend this one too. Then we have our square. So I just need to measure out. Then let me draw the center line for this one too. So I'll just measure 10 millimeters from both sides and just draw the square. Okay, we have these two parts here. I'll just join this to this, this to this also, then this to this, then that to that. Then we have our square. Now what is left is the hole that is in it. Now the hole has a diameter of 8 from here. Let's see if you can measure out radius of 4 and get to the hole. It will be a bit difficult, but let's see. Right, so that's 4. So let's see. Alright, so we have a hole in there too. Okay, it's a bit faint. Alright, so that's it for the pivot start. So now let's move on. Alright, next let's move on to this color. This one is quite simple. Sorry, this one is quite simple. This one has a diameter of 16, diameter of 8, and a thickness of 6. So let's draw that one quickly. I'm going to measure out 8 for the bigger circle. That's 8. Next, I'll measure out 4 for the smaller circle. Is that 4? Wow. Oh. Next, I'm going to project them. At first, I'll draw the center lines for them because they are circles or they are holes. So next one is just going to be by it. So I'll just project this one too, project this one too. Then I'll draw a vertical line. Now it has a thickness of 6. I'm going to measure out 6. So that's 6. Then I'll draw then there are hidden details in this one. Then the center line is already there. Then this 2mm circle, I'm just going to draw it in my free hand. So we are done with the color. But then this you have to measure out. That's 1mm. Alright, so we are done with the color. We move on to the last item, which is the pin. Alright, so moving on for the pin. It has a distance of 20 and a thickness of 2mm. So we first draw a horizontal line. Measure out. Then let's draw another vertical line. Measure out 2mm. So that's 1mm on each side. That's it. Then a distance of 20. So that's it. So let's draw another vertical line here. Then we draw horizontal lines from where we measured. But this line is supposed to be a center line. We have that one too. I'll just deepen it out a bit and we have that one as our pin. Alright, so I'm going to label all of them starting from here, which is the body. I'll first draw a line. That's going too far. Then I'll measure, let's say 5 millimeters, or let's make it 10 millimeters. Then I'll write within body. That's for the body. Now this is the handle. Let's bring the labeling up. So I'll draw a line, measure 5 millimeters. Then I'll write the handle. Next, this is the pivot start. So same thing. I'll draw a line, measure 5 millimeters, and draw another one. So pivot. Start. Now the next one is the color. So draw a line, measure 5 millimeters, draw another line, label it as the color. Then the last item is the pin. So draw a line, just align it with this one. So you have a pin here. So what is left is a dimension, which you can just do looking at it from the book. So next, let's produce the standard part sheet. So I'm going to draw, but first let's identify the standard parts in this assembly. Now standard parts are parts that do not need to be manufactured, but then they can be purchased from the shelf, right? Now for the standard parts, we have this pin, we have this pivot. These two parts need to be manufactured, so it's just these two parts. So you're going to have then I'm going to measure 5, 5, 5 for all of them. So sorry, 10, 1, 2, 3. So this column will be for our part number. Then this will be for our part name. And this will be then for the number required. Then for the material, so let's fill it out. So our part number, we have 1, 2, and 3. Then the part name, we have the pivot stud, then we have the collar, then we have the pin. This one is the number required, or let's do it short like this. Now we are going to need one of each of them. This will be the material. Now for the material, it wasn't specified, so we just leave it blank like that. So this becomes a standard part sheet for the detailed drawing we just made. So what is basically left is for you to dimension. Then we are done for this. Thank you so much.